All right, party people, so today you're probably looking at this video and you're like, dude, you're wearing the same shirt that you wore in the past two videos. And that's because, well, I've been so damn busy that I'm recording every single one of these videos in one day and then spacing them out over time because I'm running two channels, one with 300 and something thousand subscribers at Tactical Toolbox, and then this one that I'm trying to build up. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing the same shirt again. But today we're gonna be installing some mirror upgrades as well as a new set of side markers. So I decided that I wanted to get some carbon fiber mirrors and some wide angle mirrors for my car. A couple of things that I wanted to make sure I didn't get when I got these parts were, number one, for the carbon fiber mirrors, I didn't want the stick-on mirror caps. Reason is, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I'll put some links up here if you want to watch those. For this Civic Type R build, I'm trying to make everything that I do to this car completely reversible. So in the future, if I ever choose to sell it, I can revert everything back to OEM to increase its value. And so with the stick-on kind, I figured if I put them on there, they're gonna be really hard to remove without damaging the paint that's on the current painted mirror caps. So I found a set on eBay. I'll put links below for all the stuff that we're talking about. That way, if you wanna pick some up for yourself, you can do that. Now with these mirror caps, these are actually a direct replacement. And in order to install these, which I'm gonna show you in a second, you have to actually remove the mirror glass from your mirror. Don't worry, it's not that hard. I will include a link to some tools that you need, some panel poppers, in order to make that happen, but it's actually not that bad. And since I had the mirrors out, I decided that I was gonna go ahead and install my wide angle mirrors. Now, if you haven't driven one of the new 10th gen Civic hatchbacks or Civic Type Rs, they do suffer from a lot of blind spots. That was the one thing that I noticed coming from a 2009 Civic Si sedan, was that this car had a lot less rear visibility. And so I started researching wide angle side view mirrors for the Civic Type R, and I came across a lot of videos with the spoon mirrors, which everyone loves spoon and stuff like that if you're into the, you know, hashtag JDM stuff. But the one thing that I didn't like about the spoon mirrors that I felt like made them cheap was the fact that they just use 3M tape. They just stick on to your existing mirrors. And like I said, I like to reverse things.
A monumental fail. I broke the freaking mirror. Positioning came out horrible. I tried to take it off, it wouldn't come off. I tried to heat it so the glue would come off. It still didn't work. So at all costs, I was just gonna try and thread it with some fishing line so I could.
Moreover than that, like for Spoon Sports to be such this well-renowned brand, why the hell are they making stick-on mirrors? Why not just make a full mirror replacement? So I started seeking out full mirror replacements, and I stumbled upon a company called Suma Performance, who are making direct replacement mirrors that are wide angle, and they also got that blue tint to them. And what that blue tint does is, I don't know if you've ever been driving and you have a big truck, and you have like a car coming up along your side and it's just blinding the crap out of you, especially if it's a truck. Those blue mirrors will eliminate that glare from big trucks and stuff like that in your side view. Because they had a direct replacement and they didn't cost any more than the spoon mirrors, I went ahead and got those. And then Suma Performance asked me, they said, hey, would you like to try out our side markers? We just came out with a new set. And in my head, I'm like, well, I've already put new side markers on my car. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a link right up here or something like that. But basically, I found a set of side markers on Amazon, I put them on, and I was happy with them. And so when they asked me to try these, I'm like, I would like to try a set of your smoked ones because they have them both smoked and clear. And the side markers also wire into your headlights. That way, you can use your blinkers. Now, I'm not gonna go in how to wire them to your headlights today because I already have a video on which wire you tap into and how you tap into it. I will make sure to link that down below. But in today's video, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna install these carbon fiber mirror caps. We're gonna install the wide angle view mirrors, and that way you can kind of get a view of the before and after of those. And then we're gonna just install these new side markers, and I want to see how I like them compared to the ones that are currently on it. And so let's go out to the garage and let's just start installing this stuff. But if your Civic has blinkers, or if it has the lane assist sense, or it has a parking camera, it may be a little bit different, but on the Civic Type Rs, we don't get any of that. But in order to take this off, it's a little bit easier than most people think. Some people suggest putting a little painter's tape around this bottom edge of the mirror, but I'm not gonna do that because mine isn't painted, it's just bare plastic. But if it is painted, go ahead and put some painter's tape from about here all the way down to about here. I'll make sure to include links to where you can get these pry tools as well as the carbon fiber mirror caps. But essentially all we have to do is reach down into here, pretty much about right here, and you're reaching back there and you're just gonna pry that off. Like that. Once that's there, we can pull this out to the side. Thankfully, I don't have heated mirrors, so there's no wires that are in here. But if you have wires in yours, there'll probably be 2 little wires connected. You would wanna have your battery disconnected and then you unhook those. So I'm just gonna set that to the side for right now. All right, cool. So now we can kind of see how this mirror actually works. Right here is a hole and right here is a hole. And then on the mirror itself, you're gonna get these 2 little plugs and those go into here. And then this center part pops in to this little guy right here. So it's really not that scary to take those out and put them in and stuff like that. Now the way that we're gonna get the mirror, this top portion off right here, is there are 3 places where we need to pry with the flathead screwdriver. One is right here in that little hole, one's right here in this hole, and one is back here in this hole. And we simply just go in and we're just gonna pry up. And it might take you a few tries. So I've never done this before. So I'm gonna try to figure this out as we go. That's gonna go up like that. And then this one's gonna go up right here. Okay, so for this hole, you're actually gonna be reaching in at an angle. And if you look inside of it with a little flashlight, you can see a red tab that's way back there that we gotta pop. And I will say that this one back here is by far the hardest so far. All right, so to kind of understand this, these 2 prongs right here and here are the 2 prongs that we pried at the tops here. And then this one at the back was kind of confusing to me because these we had to push up with the flathead, but this one you have to push down as you're trying to remove it. So keep that in mind. And then there's also a couple of little side clips that are over here that are on this side of the mirror. And then you have a couple that are over here that you can't really access. So there are a couple of more clips. And I did feel like I was gonna break it, but thankfully nothing's broken. All right, so to reinstall the new one, we're just gonna go in the same way that we did this last one. So back here is the rear clip, and then right up here are the 2 clips we pried in the front. So to get that on, we're just gonna get everything aligned, just like that. You wanna start from this side over here, make sure that's all aligned, and then you're gonna push right here. Then I'm simply gonna hit it like that. Let me see if we're actually on here. All right, so looking at the clips, looks like everything is on here and somewhat aligned. So there is a couple of things that I gotta show you. We gotta transfer a couple of things onto the new mirror and then we can install them. All right, so on the right side, we have the OEM mirrors, and on the left side, we got the Suma performance mirrors. And essentially, we just gotta transfer that white stuff, all that white bracketing right there, over to the new mirrors. And so on this one, it actually has some tape here. Not exactly sure why. Okay, so I'm not gonna touch this. So when you pull that plastic off right here, it's actually gonna expose some adhesive. I'm assuming this adhesive is what you're gonna transfer all this stuff to. Now, if you look at these mirrors here, on every section, there's these little black tabs. There's one here, 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 and here. I'm assuming we separate them to pop out this plastic, and then we set it down into the new mirror. We don't want to break anything because we want to maintain, having everything stock and being reversible. So I'm assuming we stick something underneath the here to pry up with, and then simultaneously, we're going to try to pull these little tabs to the side as we're adding slight pressure. And if you do it correctly, it will start popping out. So I'm gonna do this other side right here so you can see it. You just pull that to the side and then it starts coming up like so. Then we just move around to the other side and do the same thing. So over here, we just put a little pressure here, and we'll just put a little pressure right about here on this tab. And as I'm pushing down, I'm pushing these tabs to the side. And then now once you get 1 or 2 out, the rest of it simply just comes out. So now you want to make sure that your aftermarket mirror is in the same orientation as this mirror. So this, essentially, this top pin was that way. So now I'm just going to transfer it right over to this one. And it should just snap into place just like so. So now we're ready to install it back onto the car. It's going to be kind of interesting. So I probably should have thought of this earlier, but I'm going to put on some nitrile gloves because I'm really tired of wiping my fingerprints off of here. Definitely will help. I got to get a couple smudges off of there yet, but now we can put them back onto the car and I'll show you how that's done. Cool, so now to get these back onto the car, we're just simply gonna take our two little prongs that are right here. We're gonna get them aligned up with these two holes right here and push straight in. The main thing that's gotta click into the place is this center piece right here. So the center piece goes into here, but we gotta make sure we get these guys in first because they just like to go all over the place. So I'm not sure how well you guys are gonna be able to see this, but you can actually see, where these little guys are going before you start pressing into it. So basically you get them going like that, and then you give a little pressure into the center of the glass, just like that, and now they're installed. What do you think of my new wheels? Those are the new Titan 7 TS5s in Techna Bronze. They're 18 by 9.5. I'll do a whole video on that here in the future. I got a ton of stuff we got to actually catch up on. Before we do the other side, I'm actually going to give you kind of a comparison of what the difference is in the viewing angle of these. So now let's go to the other side, and I'm going to show you the before of the viewing angle of the driver's side. Then I'll replace that and show you the after. Just to give you an idea, here's what it looks like on the inside of my car. And you can see my garage door back there. It's kind of right there. So there's the side of my car right here. And then if we come just out of frame where you can't see the car, that's how much viewing angle that we get. All right, cool. So now we have the mirror in here and aligned on both sides. You can see that there. You can see the blue hue pretty decently well. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare it. Let me zoom you in. So there's the same thing. I don't know if these mirrors are aligned the same way, but basically here's the edge of the door right here. So you can see the side of the car. And then if we come back to where it's just out of sight, it looks like we can see a lot more. Like that window that's right there, looks like we can see more of that. I'm not 100% sure how much we can see additional until we actually, put the footage side by side. So that's pretty cool. But now I got something else to show you that's really awesome. Okay, so a while back, we did a video on these smoked out LED side markers. They're also switchback side markers, so that means that the blinkers work on them as well. So the company Suma Performance that sent us the mirrors, they also sent a set of their smoked side markers, and I figured we'd install them to see if they're any different than the ones that are on here. The ones that are on here are currently like some Amazon, eBay ones. They're a little bit cheap. These, from what I understand, they cost a little more, but they're also a little higher quality. Now, truth be told, with these, I haven't really had any issues at all. I haven't had any moisture accumulating, but I wanted to get a side-by-side shot of what they look like versus these. So one thing that I did notice when I was looking at them that I do like better than the ones that are currently on the car, but I did want to install these and just kind of do a compare and contrast. So essentially, this is the wire that will connect to our turn signal. And it uses this really cool little connector so that we can easily take these off. The other set, you can't take them off without either A, cutting the wire or disconnecting it from the back of our headlight where it's spliced into the turn signal. So that is just a huge plus already. Another thing that's different about these, I'm not gonna take the plastic off right now, is there's no bump on them. As you could see earlier on there, they have a bump on the ones that are currently on it. The other interesting thing about these is these are really dark. The other ones are slightly transparent. So I'm gonna put these on and just see which ones I like the look of better. So I'm gonna give you a shot of what those look like first, then I'm gonna switch them out and I'm gonna give you a shot of what the new ones look like. Now, to be really honest with you, I kind of like that they're semi-smoked and semi-transparent, but I'm gonna just bolt these up real quick. I just wanna get a feel for what they look like whether or not I want to keep them on there. And that way we can get a feel of whether or not that's something I permanently want to install, because I'm not going to wire up the switchback yet, just so I can get an idea of what I'm dealing with. Don't worry, if you want to learn how to install these, just go watch my tutorial video. And like I said, the only difference between that video and using these turn signals and then these is these have better connectors for the switchbacks. Okay, so first I need to test whether or not I have the connector in correctly. And there's what these look like. You know what? I actually think I'm gonna keep these. I like these. These look a lot higher quality in my opinion. And there they are with the light out. They're just completely black. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and install these. All right, so I got it installed. Let's take a look at the switchback, see if that works. Oh man, I like that a lot. The main reason I like that is because my headlight does that sweeping motion as well. But I love the fact, because I got these new headlights. I don't know if the video is posted yet. If the video is posted on these new Morimoto headlights, I will put a link in the description, because the switchbacks match up identically. So that looks really cool because they move at the same speed when they do the whooshing motions. Let's jump up top real quick, go back into the office, and then I'm gonna give you guys some more information that I think might help you. Back up top. All right, cool. So overall impressions, this video has kind of been spaced out over the course of a couple of weeks. I originally installed the carbon fiber mirror caps first. Then about a week later, the mirrors came in, the wide view mirrors, and also the side markers. So let's talk about the carbon fiber mirror first. I think they're awesome. I absolutely do. I've already gotten tons of bug guts slapped against them. I've washed the car since I've had it, and they're holding up very well. I haven't noticed any chipping yet on them. However, I am gonna be getting paint protection film put on my car soon, probably around the front end, and then I'm gonna have it ceramic coated over. One of the downsides to carbon fiber in general, whether it's a carbon fiber hood or carbon fiber mirrors, is over time the sun will oxidize them. And the only way to kind of prevent that is to get some kind of sealant or clear coat put on top of it that kind of stops them from yellowing and stops them from oxidizing over time. Now with these that I have, I honestly can't tell if they're real carbon fiber. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They look real. They might not be. I paid about 90 bucks for them on eBay. I'll put a link to them down below. But honestly, I really can't tell, and they look really good in my humble opinion. They really set the car off. And I think if you have a car that's not black, I mean, even black looks good with carbon fiber, but the contrast between the red and the black and the carbon fiber, I just love it to death. The wide view mirrors, they kind of threw me off at first because I'm so used to seeing the regular mirrors, but they actually do change the field of view quite a bit. And now I'm not as nervous when I'm changing lanes. On the 2017 through 2019 Civic Type Rs, there's no lane sensing or blind spot monitoring or anything. I think the 2020 Type Rs are gonna have it, but because I don't, these mirrors are a godsend. Now, the cool thing about these mirrors is if you have any other type of Civic that does have like blinkers and turn signals and, you know, lane sensing, they do have mirrors that have the turn signal integrated into it. You could probably retrofit those to the Type R, but I just didn't really want to go through all that trouble. So that is nice that they have those. I've seen them on other channels. I'll make sure to put a link to where you can pick those up if that's something you're into. I wanted to talk about these side markers because I didn't think that I was going to like the side markers as much as I currently do. If you saw the install video that I did on the original ones, I wanted side markers that would light up hyper white during the day for my daytime running lights and headlights, and then they would switch back to amber for the blinker. With these, I didn't expect them to have this cool sweeping motion with the blinker, which honestly I love because I have the Morimoto XB headlights on here and they have that sweeping motion, and the sweeping motion, they just time perfectly. And what's cool is I've left the blinkers on and I was worried that maybe they would get out of sequence with one another, like one goes here, or they get out of sync. They never get out of sync. So don't worry, I'll have a video on the Morimoto headlights here very soon. I did do an install, but you do want to watch that video because there are some things you need to watch out for so you don't break them. But overall, I decided to just leave these side markers on the car and not switch back to the Amazon ones that I had because I do like that sweeping motion. But if I didn't have the Morimotos on there and I just had regular headlights, I would probably be a little bit bummed that my side markers have the sweeping action and my headlights don't, if that makes sense. So I don't know if they offer a version that doesn't have the sweeping motion, but I'll make sure to put a link below so you can get more information about those at your own leisure. But I got a lot more content coming your way, guys. I mean, we got a ton of stuff. We got We got exhaust videos, downpipe videos, we got intake videos, we got tuning videos, we got rims, lowering springs. I mean, I've got so much recorded, I just haven't had the time to upload a video. We're not gonna just do the Type R. I'm gonna do a lot of cars. It's just the Type R is just the first one on this channel. I'm probably gonna do my Ram Power Wagon next, and then in the future, I don't know where this is going, but hit the subscribe button if you want to take an adventure with me on modifying cars. But until next time, guys, I love you. You guys stay sexy.